Nice. All right, so let's get going. Belshire Vestige Ladder Edition. Once again, Graphene versus Feyn. All these clan tags.
Damn.
I'm definitely enjoying it.
They hmm.
Come on, StarCraft.
So
haven't
we've got
seen a.
Feyn, who is unranked, and Graphene, who is in the Bronze
Wow.
League. And again, Feyn, she's also playing,
Also a female.
also a female, but also playing random against Protoss here. Our yellow Protoss player Feyn on the bottom right of Belshire Vestige.
And our blue Zerg player on the top left side, Dahm's Graphene.
All right, and as I just mentioned, we've got Graphene in the Bronze League and Feyn, who is currently unranked, and the friendly GLHF with the hearts and stuff coming out. Good stuff, good stuff. So I believe that the separate rounds are the same players, but just like a group stage where they're playing each other, different opponents just get switched around. So today Graphene is actually our only new player.
Well, that makes it kind of nice at the same time. And hey, I'm impressed to see right off the bat we get a Protoss player in our first game.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Since we didn't see one the entire last
However, she's a random player, so
hey man, still close enough. I'll take it.
okay.
Still no spawning pool out of Graphene. We do have the first pylon out of Feyn, however.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be saving up for the pool. He's at 13 supply currently with a few overlords going out to do some scouting, and actually there's the first drone headed right for the natural there. Probably going to be dropping a hatchery here at any minute. Well, when he gets up to 300 minerals, of course. Or no, it was actually scouting for a proxy. That's what it was doing. It's a scout drone.
The proxy 2-gate scout drone.
Yeah, scouting for them pylons, man.
The proxy 2-gate that never comes. And actually, I'm thinking, yep, this one's going to go ahead for the expand. So we do see a hatch first coming out of Graphene.
High five there on the probe and drone. I think this guy's been cannon rushed before.
I would say that's a pretty accurate assessment.
And Feyn's probe here going to scout this natural. Going to know what's going on here. And no pool yet. We're at 17 supply, not seeing a pool just yet. Just now hitting the 200 mineral mark.
Only one gas geyser out of Feyn at the moment, too. So at least right now, Feyn not showing anything severely tech-oriented.
Yeah. You got the one gateway with the gas. And no cyber just yet. Well, I think...
Although I do like this play going for the Zealot first and not skipping over the Zealot.
Third
Oh my god.
Yeah.
We got some cats type play coming out here.
I think that's the same thing you said last time.
Wow, but three hatch before pool is very strongly cats oriented. It's something that I've seen him do on his stream quite a bit.
Yeah, and that cyber was a little bit delayed, and so this warp gate is going to be delayed as well. And I think Graphene has Overlord in the base, so sees all of that going on. Though I do see a proxy pylon here, right by the main. It could be a little iffy if Graphene's going to go ahead and try to solidify these three bases here. Though the warp gate is delayed, the aggression still appears that it will be coming relatively soon. And the second gateway being thrown down. Yep.
And actually, it looks like Feyn is trying to build up a little bit of money here, so probably what we're going to see is like a 2-gate expand, something to that effect.
Possibly, yeah. That could be the deal. Though,
proxy pylon down.
Yeah, the proxy pylons still just kind of worry me, though. But we'll see what comes of that.
That's pretty standard to do, even at lower levels, and I mean, obviously you see it a lot at the highest levels of play where players will pepper the map with these pylons just to give you pretty much you're looking for almost an optimal warp in point every time.
Yeah, and the spawning pool just did finish for Graphene.
And Graphene actually on 2 geysers with only 2 workers in each, so just trying to get a lot of gas up fairly quickly, probably to go for speed at this point, which I would say Graphene pretty much needs to defend anything that Feyn is going to throw at him at this point, and Feyn's going to go ahead and take her own expansion.
Yeah, drop down a forge following that. An opportunity to spend some of that gas. So no units being produced out of these gateways. Just going to go ahead and wait for warp gate to finish up. So yeah, you're probably right. She got that expansion. I don't think she's going to be too aggressive. And
No.
Graphene's going to go ahead and take the lead for a little while now.
Yeah, sitting on 3 base is definitely going to go ahead and drone up there. But also, just something to point out from Feyn. Feyn is pretty safe right now with two going into 3 gates. This is just a simple 3 gate expand. Obviously, with the forge here, you can get upgrades. You can also move into some cannons. But overall, just a very, very safe expansion by Feyn.
Yeah. And she definitely has the gas pulled up to start upgrading, whether, she goes for weapons or armor first. I don't know what's the standard for Protoss in this situation. It must be personal preference, probably. And a few Lings heading out for Graphene across the map. I'm going to go ahead and notice that this expansion is here, but probably not going to be able to do too much damage, just, doing some scouting there.
You see some Lings going to come up. Did the Lings poke up here? I'm sorry, I must have missed that.
Yeah, they're chilling here. You can barely see them. They're right behind the. There they are.
Yeah, yeah. I saw the health bars. I just wasn't sure if you'd said they'd popped up or not. I kind of like zoned out there for a
Yeah.
second. So,
You know,
but
spe-
like I said, very, very, very safe expansion by Feyn. I do like that play a lot. Now she does
Yeah.
have warp gates done, so these do need to get changed. Obviously, waiting for stuff to finish.
I say
One thing I would like to see though is with this. There's the forge finally. I'm gonna say with the forge that early, you would almost hope to see some early upgrades
yeah,
come out, and we're
especially with the
starting to see them now.
gas that she has.
Yeah,
Also,
most definitely.
this is pretty safe as well. I would say due to the photon overcharge, the mothership core was out early enough. It has a bunch of energy pulled up there. Um,
Oh, and
Metabolic
gets the
boost.
Overlord
Oh, that's great. Yep, supply
supply
block.
block.
Yeah, and metabolic boost just about finished for Graphene. He's got quite a few Lings here pulled.
And the Roach Warren just about finished up. So now actually Graphene I would say is pretty much stabilized at this point. This is a lot of Lings coming across the map here too.
Yeah, and there's only one sentry. I mean, there is the photon overcharge, but there is not a block by that warp gate. No zealot in hold position, so it's possible that those Lings could just flood right by and do a lot of damage right there in the main.
I feel like though after seeing Feyn play, she does have enough control to go ahead and force field that ramp fairly effectively to try and
Yeah.
convert any sort of run by.
Mm-hmm. And also, Immortal's coming out of the Robo facility. I don't think she actually scouted the Roach Warren, but just playing by intuition.
I was gonna say it's almost pretty. Obviously, there's only really two tech paths that Protoss
Yeah,
on anymore.
yeah,
Well, and actually, I take that back. Though you can go down all three now fairly easily, um, but you get a robo out for almost every one of them, whether it be
Mhm.
for the detection, for immortals like Feyn is doing, or for Colossi. And there was an
She's
article
actually
on.
placing down a Stargate.
Ooh,
It's
so just
interesting.
getting maybe some void ray support,
Skill raise.
skill ray support. But what I was trying to get is basically everything is supported by the Robo Bay at this point. So I mean, it makes transitions between tech paths fairly quick and painless.
Yeah. So she'll have the option of either teching up to Colossus or using that Stargate tech. And then we see a bunch of Lings and Roaches here converging on the natural of when one of the Immortals falls. And all the Lings are dead, though.
This is
So,
going to be rough.
yeah.
Just a photon overcharge. There it is.
And a few more Lings getting by, but they're going to get cleaned up. I don't think these Roaches are going to be able to break this.
That's a lot of roaches though, with some good control and
It is, I mean, but
just kind of waiting.
she's still got Time Warp, and Photon Overcharge is still currently good. Stalker's being warped in.
She is only sitting on 3 gateways though, so I mean
Yeah.
that limits things a little bit. That is a lot of roaches to try and deal with.
That is true, though. An Immortal is headed out right now.
And this engagement going on right here in the front, can pick up a few.
And
Oh, get,
the
no!
Immortal's
No!
right by the Immortal. Oh man, I need to see a Time Warp there. And
That immortal getting picked off. Some stalkers being warped in up here on the top. But this is brutal.
yeah, this is pretty dangerous here,
Even if this gets cleaned up, Feyn is going to be in a pretty terrible spot.
especially with the roaches that are being produced here by Graphene's
Oh,
reinforcement wave. Oh, Artosis is in the building.
Hostess has entered the building.
Oh no.
It actually just needs to clean this up. Now, I do like this play, apparently not. Let's say she's waiting for the immortal support. The immortal does finally play in.
Mm-hmm.
Start picking up some roaches.
Really, I would have liked to see a Time Warp at some point here.
I agree, but I mean, for what was dealt to her, Feyn handled that really well.
Yeah.
Just slightly behind now. There were relatively few workers killed. I'm just seeing one on the board. Um, but I mean, to have that run up into your base and obviously lose that production for, even that few seconds is still a major
Yeah.
loss. You do see some skill raise in production.
And a spire is going down.
More roaches going to continue to just flood across the map. Here we do have a small little group of them, about 11.
In the Overlord dance party.
That is a hell of a dance party. That is a hell of a dance party.
But man, that bank of graphene, it's got to take a couple bases or something. Get even more ahead.
I mean, I would even be happy with macro hatches at this point, just to try and spend that money. I think the limiting factor at this point, obviously, is larva.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, it would be really nice. And we do see another base going to go down here for.
She also hasn't dropped a single Evo chamber, so I mean, completely boned for upgrades at this point.
But let's be real, it does look like he's banking up some gas too. So we're going to see a very strong muta switch here soon. And Feyn obviously is on the back foot.
The big Jadong switch.
Yeah, everything eventually goes back to mutas with Jadong.
And the spire is complete, and 11 mutalisks in production.
So we're going actually probably into straight mutaling would be my guess from here. The roaches, I would assume, stop seeing production of those roaches and just go strictly into ling.
I think this is going to be the end of Feyn, honestly. I mean, she's got a decent amount of stalkers there, but with 11 mutalisks on the field and the mobility of those mutalisks, is, that combined with the fact that she's still on 2 bases, I think this is not going to end too well.
Yeah, I mean, the advantage definitely is in Graphene's favor, and moving this Voider out, I don't like this play. Although she does scout it.
Yeah, she's going to see what's coming, but it's just completely blowing past the units here, and it's going to get taken out by these mutas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sad day for that Voider.
It is a sad day to be a Voider in Feyn's army.
And I think, with Graphene continuing to expand here, he's got his 4th base, probably going to drop down a 5th at this point. I mean, he's got a bunch of minerals. Meanwhile, Feyn is still contained on 2 bases. I just don't think she can really come out of this.
In this position, actually, I do think, and actually we do see an expansion getting ready to go down for Feyn. I think this is the right play to do, to try and sneak that expansion, because, your opponent really hasn't checked this side of the map.
Yeah.
Obviously, as I say that, there's some stuff moving. Now, whether it's down that way, I'm not entirely sure. But I think at least trying to sneak that expansion is good.
Oh, yep.
Oh.
It's like, the 3rd is not going to happen.
So, yeah, Feyn definitely contained on the 2 bases here. Does need to get the cancel on that Nexus. And doesn't come. That is a huge loss.
Oh, no. I think this is just going to be the war of attrition, and Feyn is going to get whittled down. Here comes an engagement right now. The Mutas just tearing apart those mortals.
I'm leading with the Immortals.
Yeah. Oh, mass recall right to the Necro.
I think that was a mispick.
Oh, no. Yeah, I think that was a mispick as well. Probably going for that Photon Overcharge, and that is just going to be game. Yeah, there's a GG from Feyn. Graphene takes game 1.
Yeah, I think that was just a little bit of a misplay on her part, although I don't know that Photon Overcharge would have been able to save her.
Yeah, I think, the Mothership Core did have quite a bit of energy built up, so maybe could have dropped the Time Warp on top of that Overcharge. I think they're both 100, right?
Yeah. I still don't know that would have saved her, though, in that position. Yeah. That was really well played by Graphene.
It really was, and he did that without upgrades.
He did. By the power of micro, anything is possible.
Indeed.
Sorry, I'm reading the chat and going back and forth here.
Yeah. All right, so game 2 on Whirlwind Ladder Edition. You guys ready? No breaks needed?
Nope.
No? All right, cool. All right, so Feyn, random again. Graphene, of course. Wizard. Whirlwind Ladder Edition.
Whirlwind.
All right. Protoss once again, and are we lagging a little bit?
Spawning down here on the bottom right-hand side of Whirlwind Ladder Edition, we do have our teal Protoss player, Feyn. What are you laughing about?
Why does this happen to be? The second game we load up, I have to alt-tab and come back to it because it just doesn't load properly for me.
I'm not sure, but spawning up here on the top left-hand side of the map, we do have Dave Purple Zerg Graphene.
Go ahead and get that introduction.
I got both of them, man. I
I,
took care of it. I got your back on this one.
thank you
Yeah.
for once in our life.
For once in our lives, I have your back.
It's not fixing itself, man. I don't know what's going on. I hear
Uh-oh.
game noises. This is really strange. Come on. I want to see this happen. And it says the game's running just fine. There we go. Sweet. All right. I'm back.
I heard Alt F4 fixes that problem.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you. For some reason. I mean, usually I take your advice on these sort of things, but.
No, no, you don't. You never trust my advice. I see how our
And
relationship.
for good reason, too.
I haven't misled you that often. Let's be
Right.
real. So now again, we see no gas, no spawning pool. First draw, I'm going to come out here and scout this for Graphene.
That often, exactly. Thanks again for joining us, Zero.
Zero, you are the man.
And of course, just typical same stuff we saw last time. That expansion coming out from Graphene. And it looks like he's not going to drop a spawning pool.
I
Yeah,
think we're going to get the same play over again. I think that's one of those builds that you just kind of perfect.
yeah. He's got two more drones headed out here. I think, yep, he's just going to go ahead and grab that third, possibly. I don't see it queued
I
up
want to
yet.
see him get ballsy and take a fourth.
Maybe he's going to go for a proxy hatch.
Four hatch before pool.
Oh, no.
And actually, I think Feyn is going to get the first scout off here.
Yeah, she's got the probe out there.
Although
Looks like, yeah, he was going to get the third there, but it looks like he's just going to go back and get the third over here.
I actually kind of
Right.
like this play, taking this expansion
Yeah,
because it's a little easier to defend.
I agree too. I mean, that expansion that he was initially going to take has just two huge ramps from completely opposite directions leading into it.
And it looks like Feyn actually is doing a really good job on her timings during this game.
Yeah, yeah, didn't miss that cyber core.
Yeah, the cyber core was a little bit delayed last time. We don't see that this time, and actually we see gateway on the way right away.
Nice.
That was a lot of ways.
And it's
right?
chrono boosted as well.
Oh my god.
So I don't know. Are we going to see an Aurelius 4 gate?
I almost feel like we should see a 4 gate or something in this position. You're down 0-1 in a series. Obviously, you've got a best of 5 to play on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's actually a terrible idea.
Yeah. Though this is a massive map. So
It is,
that's,
but I mean,
we don't see a proxy pylon. Oh, there it is. As soon as I say that, it's going to be put right there. So maybe this will happen. I mean, she's definitely, chrono boosting out the warp gate, so intending to use it and getting the second gas and no natural yet, although she has about 400 banked. And there goes two more gateways.
and it might be entirely possible that we just see a 3-gate expand.
Maybe.
That's very good. See, the second gas guys are going down. So more than likely not a 4-gate.
Yeah.
You can obviously do the double gas 4-gate, but it's
Or maybe like a 3-gate robo, or do you just go gate robo, then 2 gates?
depends on how you want to do it. Usually in this matchup, it's safer to go with the gateways first. If you're playing against like Protoss and decide to do that, you usually go robo and then gates.
Right. Oh, and there's the fourth gate, man.
Fourth gateway, so we are
Nailed
it. You nailed that one.
And we do see the Overlord here from Graphene is going to spot that proxy pylon, so he's going to know that that is there, and he's got a few lings out here that might take care of it soon.
Sure.
I don't know if he's quite paying attention to it yet.
No, he does know that the pylon is there, but yeah, it's a matter of whether he caught it and whatnot.
Yeah.
Now, we do see 2 stalkers and a zealot moving out across the map. This is going to be a little bit rough. Now, the spawning pool is done. If we open up production, no lings in production, only drones.
Yeah, and no speed just yet, but although there's no speed, that those 2 stalkers are probably going to get cleaned up by this amount of lings that he's got
We
here.
do have 3 stalkers up here now, though, and a zealot. So, I mean,
Yeah, and
it's looking a
warp
little
gate's
bit better.
done. Warp gate's finished, so reinforcement warp in. We've got 900 minerals almost and 300 gas here to be spent on a warp in, which I assume we will see here pretty soon. Mothership Corps going to head out and join the Protoss forces here. And yep, there's another warp in of zealots.
Now, one thing Feyn does need to make sure she does is a 5th gate.
Yeah, you catch the 5th gate, man. This is This is ballsy, and she's going.
She's
She's
going
going
in.
deep. Yep.
Going in.
One of the stalkers going to get picked off there, but these zealots will
These
make a
zealots
quick
are
work of
doing
the lings. Oh man, but that is a lot of lings though.
a lot of wins. I
That,
think
that is a lot of lings.
destined to fail with this.
Yeah. I
Oh,
mean, there was no time warp. And yeah, it's
so now, actually, I would say the transition out of this, if Feyn decides to go for it, is just warp in around to Zealots, drop the expansion, and pray to God your opponent doesn't flood you with lings.
yeah, which looks like that might happen here. You know, we've got a group of lings heading out across the map.
So
Speed not quite done yet.
notice up here on the top, we do have a group of Zealots still sitting with
Yeah,
the Mothership Core.
so that could be an opportunity to head in and do some damage. No lings in production to back this up, but they are heading back now.
Now we're gonna have to see if Feyn remembered to put these Zealots on hold. If you noticed right in the beginning of the game when that drone got through, there was no hold position.
Nice. These drones getting picked off there before they can actually do any damage to that pylon.
Bringing the
Yeah, bringing the lings back to clean up
back.
the zealots.
Do we have any lings in production? No, we don't, but we have double Stargates.
Speed just finished.
So actually, I
Double
think
Stargate?
double Stargate, no lings in production for Graphene. This is going to be
Double Stargate and 5 gateways. Okay, yeah. These zealots are gonna be able to clean up these lings pretty easily.
this is bad.
Yeah, and they're gonna do some damage to the drones here shortly. 6 lings in production, that's not gonna be enough.
It's at this point in time I would like to see Feyn actually go ahead and take
Wow.
attention.
Yeah, same here. I mean, you just can't produce off of one base when you got 5 gates and 2 Stargates. But yeah, this is bad news for Graphene, though he does have 20 lings in production. The initial 6 are done, and dropping a Spire and 3 Spines to protect his main there. And 5 Spines, wow, a few Spore Crawlers.
Graphene actually just going to try and work away these Zealots. I still like the play by Feyn, however.
Yeah, however, you know, she's missing that expansion that she could have dropped there safely.
Yeah, but I think part of that was just comfort level on her part. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
You know, there was no reinforcement warp in for that, so it looks like that is going to be it. As you notice, you know, she did warp in some things back here at home to protect from the potential flooding of lings that might happen.
I also like this play by Graphene, though, putting down these spores and spines.
Yeah, though at this point, you know, they're redundant because he doesn't need them.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like he doesn't
Actually-
know how much is coming back in, and we do see another little flood of zealots coming up here, and the third is completely undefended.
Yeah, he didn't drop any spines to the third, so that queen's going to fall pretty quickly, and he's going to lose a lot of drones here if he doesn't get them out of there. And that could be really bad news as he's back on one base.
And 16 lings in production.
Wow.
Feyn really needs to take an expansion, though.
Yeah,
It's doing all the economic damage in the world, but that's not going to help her if she doesn't take her own expansion.
yeah.
There we go. It goes down finally.
Nice, nice. And 2 Mutalisks on the way for Graphene, but they're not going to do a whole lot.
Yeah, I
See,
mean,
adds to that count. Yep, adds to the muta count. It's up to 6.
I don't think that's actually going to matter.
Yeah, I mean, he's losing his third base. He doesn't have a natural. He's stuck on one base. And he's got a bunch of minerals banked up, so he can retake those bases, but he just has to take care of these zealots first, which he will be able to do with these Mutalisks.
Nice play by Feyn as well, running away from those broodlings as they spawn out of the hatchery.
Yeah. Save the little bit of extra hit points on those zealots. And the zealots are cleaned up, though we do have a push of stalkers coming across the map and an additional warping of
Oh
stalkers.
my god.
Wow, this is brutal.
This is gonna be rough.
Ooh, and the mothership core falls, but I don't think that's going to matter. This is
Okay.
a lot of stalkers.
Feyn is continuing just to pick away at these overloads as well.
And the Void Ray joins the battle.
Yes. Supply blocked.
The skill array, I mean, of course. And
Close
yeah,
enough.
so that was a lot of overlords that fell there.
Yeah, and I mean now Graphene is in a pretty rough spot.
However, you know, with those spine crawlers there, you know, they weren't useful earlier, but they are going to be useful now.
Yeah, they are. And actually Feyn needs to control this battle really well as to not lose that many stalkers or even the Void Ray.
Yeah.
We can see some darting in and out by Graphene.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna just let those Mutalisks
And
regen.
so I think Feyn's taking the lead at this point. You know, she's on that second base. Or there's a GG from Graphene. Nice. So we are tied up.
Are we gonna get our first best of 5?
I don't know, maybe.
Well, and by that I mean our first game 5. I mean,
For our first game 5.
First game 5 of these best of 5 series.
All right.
I really
Game
liked the
two.
follow up. I really did.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like she pretty much learned from that first game that, her opponent was being greedy in the beginning. Three hash before pool. That's pretty risky.
That is pretty greedy.
And you know, she decided to punish him for that, which I think was a great call. And we actually saw something like that in our own Hive Mind tournament. Let's see, game three between Graphene and Feyn on Polar Night Ladder Edition.
Yeah,
Everybody good to go?
I am wonderful.
I'm gonna have a sip of my coffee. That pumpkin spice creamer, man, I tell you, it's delicious. I'm not a man. I don't drink black coffee. Can't handle that shit.
I forgive you for now.
All right. So let's see what race Finn gets this time. Of course, going random again. And remember, this is the top bottom map. There's no left and rights. All right. Keep that in mind.
I'm gonna say it anyway.
Okay. I'm not gonna stop you, but I'll correct you.
If you're on the top as the teal Terran pieces, we do have our uh our unranked random play. I just forgot what I was gonna say. I'm sorry. Our unranked random player Feyn, who just tied up the series 1-1.
Good luck. Have fun, darling. Lols. All right. So on the bottom, the purple Zerg, Dehun Graphene, who is probably taken aback by that loss there, now realizing that he can't just do the three hatch before pool safely anymore.
Well,
His opponent is worth something.
unless he Nani was it
Yeah.
three hatch no pool or die trying.
So, what's the game plan with that? Three hatch, no pool.
Just really really fast, big economy so that you can produce a lot of units really quickly. Usually you get it, and actually Stefano started doing this without speed,
Yeah.
and then you get all of your geysers at once and
Mhm.
saturate everything. So then that way you can make just a really quick, really big tech switch.
So the last TVG we saw with Feyn was against Himalayan, and she didn't do too hot in that series. So we'll see how her TVZ has changed from then to now, and if any improvements have been made.
That is right. Now, how far apart were these games played? Do you know?
I don't. I received the replay package from Faust, which by the way, shout out to you, man, for putting all this together, and that's all the information I got really.
All right.
So I don't know. I'm assuming it was over a couple weeks. I don't think these were like back-to-back games or anything like that. Oh, and the drone is going to get in, even though there's a supply depot to be built there. And it's just going to go and head to the corner. And let me tell you, I would like. Oh, never mind. It's not going to happen. Proxy hatch would have been
No
awesome.
proxy hatch. That would have been wonderful.
Oh, man. Don't see that kind of stuff often enough. We do see that the natural for Graphene about halfway done. We'll see if he decides to drop a pool this time. I don't know.
You know, I think it's one of those things, and I mean, you hear this said a
Oh,
lot.
he's trying to get that proxy hatch. I see him. There we go.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Nice. We'll see what comes of this, and if Feyn's able to handle it. Yeah, he's got one Marine to start picking away at it, and maybe gonna pull some SCVs here.
I think Feyn just gonna let the one Marine go at it.
Yeah.
Two Marines short.
If she does that, it's gonna finish.
Yeah.
But the second Marine will be added here pretty soon. But the spawning pool does go down for Graphene, so. And the second barracks there for Feyn. So you're not going to be too greedy this time. I mean, this is a little interesting, this proxy hatch. We'll see if it actually works. I have a feeling it won't.
You know what? I still like the effort, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely cool to see this kind of stuff, and it's definitely entertaining.
Because you want to do something crazy and throw your opponent on tilt. This is definitely it.
Definitely. And the three Marines now, combined efforts taking down this hatchery. I think it's going to fall here shortly after it finishes, if not before. But I actually think that's going to finish. Yeah, it's got 7 seconds on it.
Yeah, and actually, something to note, Graphene spawning pool. And the cancel.
He canceled it. And is he going to get out of there?
Build another one.
Yeah, build another one. That would
Is
be
he?
insane.
Oh no,
Oh no!
no,
Come on,
maybe no.
build it.
Oh
Build
no!
it.
Don't pick away the barracks.
Oh,
Oh
the troll
no!
dies. That's too bad.
Graphene,
So that was nothing more than a nuisance.
graphene. The heart that I'm making right now is for you. For even trying it. We do see a double gas going down for graphene. That was exciting. That's always satisfying to see.
That definitely was. I mean, that was really cool, though. I mean, it didn't really do a whole lot. It just kind of annoyed Feyn, and Feyn dropping that expansion with the bunker for backup there, and the natural for graphene is up and running. No speed in production just yet for graphene, but he's got quite a bit of minerals banked up there. Be interesting to see where he's actually going with that. Not enough gas to really do much, but he does have the two extractors.
I am wondering though if he's going to go ahead and drop another expansion, which I would personally like to
Yeah,
see. Honestly,
this
in
point,
this case, which one do you take?
in this case, I don't know. I mean,
Left or
I
right?
I
Because behind
really,
you is unfeasible at this moment.
yeah. So honestly, I mean, the right one looks really, really open, of course, and really hard to defend. So honestly, I think, the left would be a good choice, though. I mean, I don't think the back is that mu out of the question. You could just,
I'm not saying it's out of the question, but with like very few lings on the board, it's going to
yeah.
take you a really long time to get that established unless you
I actually
build a
really like
proxy.
that base back there. That's
It makes taking four bases pretty quick and easy, actually.
And it
Which
makes some really interesting sort of engagements if you have, as a Terran player, siege some tanks back there behind the natural of your opponent. It'd be pretty interesting. I don't know. This map's just really cool overall.
Yeah, I do like the design of this map a lot. It gives a lot of openness and open-endedness to
Yeah.
play.
Wow. I mean, that's a lot of overlords going out across the map here. I wish they'd get into like a flying V formation.
I hope we see a Nidus one.
This one over here on the top left, maybe. That would be cool.
Nidus the main.
I'm, Graphene is apparently a bronze player, but I think, he's a little bit better than that from what we're seeing here.
And we do have Lings morphing into Banelings, 11 Banelings in production now.
And the Widow Mines for Feyn. As I've said in the past, I really like mines, usually as an opener as opposed to something you're adding in at 9 minutes or so. Just, using mines to defend
Uh-oh.
expansions and stuff.
And they're moving out.
Wow, yeah, that is
Although
a
we have no Baneling speed.
no Baneling speed, but all we've got here are Marines and Marauders, and this is a lot of Lings. I mean, he does have a bunker there anyway. Yeah, there is one mine out, so one good mine connection could completely deny this push from Graphene. And 16 more links in production, and Baneling speed is a little over halfway done at this point. And Hellions being added into the mix.
Yeah.
It's getting all of them units.
All of the units. We have 13 more. Oh my god, is this just going to be a Bane?
Yeah, this could just be a Bane
Oh,
bust. Just
wait.
without tanks, that could be really hard to deal with as Feyn. Speaking as a Terran player myself, and we'll see. We'll see if he spots this changeling here. What's up, guys? Those are always hilarious because we know the imposter is there, but she has no idea
Uh-oh.
what's going on here.
Frowny face.
Oh, it's stuck. The changeling is stuck, I think, and that's why he made that face.
One thing I don't understand, why not just go around?
I don't know, but we're gonna see a bust here coming soon.
Uh-oh.
The links flooding in.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Oh!
but the Widowmine connected and killed a lot of those lings, but either way, everything just died. And yeah, this expansion's completely open, losing all sorts of SCVs. And that is a game-changing bust there.
It is.
Yeah, man. And now he can just remax, or not quite remax, but flood in a lot more units and have no worries about bunkers and such here at the front. And again,
Yeah, we do have a bunch of lings just kind of rallying over here at this right hand.
yeah. And like I was saying earlier, without tanks, stuff like this is just so hard to deal with. and a couple changelings there just chilling. Uh, she catches him. And yep, 16 more banelings in production, just about finished. I don't think this game's going to last too much longer.
No, I would agree with, especially with that first bus doing as much damage as it did,
Yeah.
and just more lings and banelings being produced as we speak. I mean, I can't see this game lasting that much
Yeah.
longer.
And Graphene goes ahead and drops a Spire. Not that he'll actually need it, but, just to get even more ahead of his opponent. Though, in order to do that, he probably would need to drop an expansion here. I think he's confident just to two-base his opponent and whittle him down, or whittle her down, excuse me.
This is the Roddy build through and through.
Mm.
Keep building one unit. Well, in this case, two.
Hey, man, there's Marauders and Hellions in there.
No, I'm talking.
Oh, okay, from Graphene. And yeah, more Banelings just annihilating those
This is
Marines.
always beautiful to watch. Baneling hits. I don't
Oh,
care.
jeez, so many SCVs.
So many SCVs killed. If we actually look at the workers killed tab, 17 SCVs killed by Graphene.
Wow.
And it looks like this expansion is going to fall.
Yeah, the expansion not gonna last long. Needs to put up that supply depot. These Lings are gonna get right in. Up, up, up. Oh, nice.
That was
Just
a
in
clutch.
time.
That was
Yeah,
a
that
clutch
was
catch.
so close. I think even if there's a Zergling on top of it, it should just raise anyway and just like shoot the Zergling off or something. This is the most frustrating thing ever is when you're just spamming that raise button.
It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It's like the day that never comes.
We're just gonna see another bust here. There's
Yeah, I mean,
mainly bust strike through those supply depots.
it's just a harsh cycle.
Spain would have to pull off something very, very tricky to get out of this contain here without any tanks. 14 mutas in production, and I think that's going to be the nail in the coffin.
Yeah.
Once they start flooding around back, I mean, there's a missile turret there, but there's only one. Against 14 mutas, that's really nothing.
There's a lot of mutas, and the mutas are actually having a little dance party in the middle of the map with the overlords. Somebody got their invitation.
Yeah, checking for that expansion on those ice blocks back there. Nothing back there. Feyn's effectively contained to one base at this point. He's got a decent amount of Marines there. No Banelings. And there they are. There's 8 Banelings in production. But are these Marines going to catch it? Nope. They're going right back to the main. And the wall's going up. He's like, fuck that shit.
Pretty much. As Feyn in this position, that's got to be really scary to just not even really walk down your ramp, but just see a bunch of Ling Muta in vain.
And Needling Blaine is just so hard to deal with as Terran.
And there the bust happens. And they're going to flood in and clean everything up.
I think that's game. Yep, there's GG from Feyn. So, Zerg player Graphene takes the series to 2-1. One more win, and the series is his. So let's go on to game 4.
Yay. Let's see if Feyn can tie it up.
We will see. So we got a question here in the chat for Ever Bronze. Anyone know when the brackets will be updated? Yeah, that's something Foss is in control of. Woodhouse and I are just casting the games. You'll have to get in touch with him for that. We all good to go? I guess I'm starting anyway. All right, Derelict Watcher Tournament Edition for Game 4.
I do like this map.
Yeah.
Still do.
It's hard to say what Feyn should do if she ends up getting a race different from what we've seen already. Oh, she gets Terran again.
It's Terran again, so we have kind of an idea of what Feyn likes to play as Terran. And just introduction, spawning up here on the top right-hand side of Derelict Watcher, we do have our teal Terran player Feyn.
And in the bottom left, our purple Zerg Graphene. One more win and he can take this series.
I think at this point we've seen kind of how both players like to play this, and we're just going to have to see which cards they decide to pull out.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like his Graphene's Terran strategy is a little bit different from his Protoss strategy. He didn't even get that third base last time. He's just two base the entire game, which apparently it worked for him. So We'll see what goes on this time. He tries to do a proxy hatch again.
That, like I said, guy is my hero.
That was definitely a lot of fun to watch.
That was. Even though it didn't work, it was still a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean that kind of stuff is just purely for entertainment value. Doesn't have to work to be cool.
It's true.
But again, what I'd like to see out of Feyn is a factory opener instead of putting down multiple barracks to start off with. But maybe that's what she's comfortable with. This is just me. Against Zerg, almost exclusively open with factories, whether for Widow Mines or tanks, that make those kind of Baneling busts a lot harder for the Zerg to pull off. So Graphene does like his Banelings. He's going to go ahead and drop that natural there. And we will see where the next 200 minerals go. And, yep, refinery just about done for Feyn. So going for that gas before expand. So typically, you'll see a factory after this. After the second supply depot is done after that barracks, you'll have enough gas for a factory if you are mining efficiently off of it, which Feyn is not at this point. And there she goes. I think she's taking those two SES, so 3 out of 3 on that gas. And the spawning pool for Graphene.
So Graphene actually probably, if history has taught us anything in this series, will more than likely go into the Ling Baneling play that he had in the last series, or the last game, excuse me.
Yeah, deciding not to do any funky shenanigans with that scout drone. Or maybe that's yet to be seen. He's got a scout drone heading out right now. Not for a base, but definitely for scouting at this point. And the SCV for Feyn heading over to her opponent's base. And there's actually a second barracks. Okay, so she decided to drop the tech lab instead. Maybe, to get a combat shield or stim pack. And actually a second gas off of one
Now,
base.
I'm not entirely sure if this drone wasn't just misrallied. Because the drone got to just about the front of the base and then came back.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know that, but it has a mineral in its claws or whatever, so I don't think it actually just came out of that hatchery. So anyway,
No, I mean, I think it was just one of those things where, like, you want to click the Overlord, because there's an Overlord in the same
yeah.
general area, and you just caught the drone as well.
All right. A few initial links coming out for Graphene. Gonna start heading across the map here, and again,
A Reaper opening.
yeah, Feyn using that gas for Reapers instead of a factory and instead of a stim pack or combat shield, and just putting down 2 more barracks. This is a Reaper all in, I would say. I don't think this is really an opener as opposed to, I'm just going to flood my opponent with Reapers.
Because Reapers are pretty good, as we found out.
They are, especially when your opponent does not have speed and they only have 2 queens out and no spines. We'll see. Yeah, Graphene did spot that Reaper there, so we'll see how he decides to react.
Although one thing that slightly confuses me is there was a Marauder built out of there. I was just going to say, you don't actually need the tech lab for
No, you don't.
Reapers anymore, so I was just a little confused as to why it was even built, if it was some sort of an all-in.
And I think Feyn is just a bit busy trying to micro these Reapers because she isn't using her barracks back home and starting to stockpile that money up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when you're trying to pull off something like this, that's really important. Being able to produce while you're microing, while you're keeping your units alive, because you need that constant flood of units to be able to whittle your opponent away. Because if your reinforcements are late, then that just gives your opponent extra time to prepare for what's coming.
Yeah.
And it looks like she's actually making a lot of Marines. So, I mean, typically, off of 2 gas on 1 base, you could support 5 barracks worth of Reaper production. But it looks like, she's not even going to use that gas, and she's going to go ahead and drop an expansion there. I don't know, man. That's a little bit interesting. We'll see if, she's planning to use that early gas in some other way. But I don't think that was all that efficient.
Yeah. Now, we do see some Lings coming across the map. They're going to get met by these 2 Reapers, but It's micro
Yeah,
by the power of micro.
they're caught. They were caught and they died. Sad day for the Reapers. And yeah, just reactor on reactor being put down on these barracks and this Marines flooding out. No combat shield or stim pack in production yet, though she can definitely afford it. I think that's just, kind of not intentional, but just, forgetting, which, is understandable. It
And we do
happens.
have a third hatchery finally coming down for Graphene.
And the Spire on the way as well as centrifugal hooks. So we're just going to see the same thing we saw last game, like you said. Going to go for that Ling Bling, add in some mutas, and just, you know, bust the front down a few times and win the game.
Yeah, I mean, like we saw last time, that was the preferred style of play. Now, I would like to see this time the Graphene waiting for all those upgrades to kick in prior to busting.
Yeah, and I'd like to see